blasting, billowing, bursting forth with the power of 10 billion butterfly sneezes.
This is Wine, Money, and Song. And if you want an insider's view of the wine industry, and if you're interested in learning about wines in different wine areas, please subscribe. So this week I went to New York to the Union of Grand Cru tasting of the 2022 Bordeaux. And I want to give you the tale of my trip. I will give you more wine by wine accounts in the next episode, but I just want to tell you my overall feel about the tasting itself, my trip there, and my conversations with people in the wine business who were there, who I've known for sometimes 2 or 3 decades, and what they think is going on in the Bordeaux wine market and what's going on in the wine market generally. So I've been to the Union of Grand Cru tastings maybe 8 or 9 times. Generally I only go when there's a good vintage to be tasted. You know, I've skipped some of the minor vintages. But I'm very, very interested in the 2022s. So on the Sunday before the tasting, because it was on Monday, we had a snowstorm in the Northeast, and I was wondering if I was going to be able to go. So we had about 6 inches of snow, and I decided to take Amtrak and the train early in the morning. And it's a 4-hour ride, and it's not cheap. Back and forth with the cabs and everything, it cost me like $400 just to do this. But this is what I do for my subscribers and my viewers, is I'm putting in hard work here, you know. And it's not easy for me, you know, a person of 70-ish age and traveling 8 hours the whole day back and forth by train and walking around, taking a few cabs, standing up on my feet for 5 hours. So feel sorry for me a little bit, will you? So the train, I got in, I took the cab, and I got there about 10 after 1, and they were letting us in at 1:30. So they let us in at 1:25, and it was packed. It was mayhem. It was belly to belly. And the first few wines I tried to get into took me maybe 5 minutes just to get in and push people out of the way. And that's how it was for the next 4 hours. And it was very frustrating. So what I did, I probably tasted 25 to 30 wines. And there were over 100, and I wanted to at least try 3/4 of them, and I didn't get that opportunity because of the way the crowd was too big. And if you take a look, this is the booklet, my tasting booklet from it, and this is my name tag, and the red banner there means that I'm media. But unfortunately, media was in with the trade, meaning retail stores, restaurants, distributors, importers, and then there was also the public. They were there too. So I don't know how many people were there, but hundreds and hundreds of people. It might have been over 1,000 for all I know. And it made it impossible. It was so chaotic, and I really couldn't get in. So what I did is I was networking with some of my former business associates there. So I talked to a importer, and I know business is tough. And I asked him, I said, how difficult has it been? And he said to me, well, it's tough, because less people are drinking, and there's too much wine in the market. And I says, well, how you combat that downturn in demand? And he said to me, well, we're looking to have the laws changed where we can sell non-alcoholic wines or very light alcohol wines. And it seems to be a demand in that area. And I says, you got to be kidding me. He says, that's the growth. The only growth in the wine market is alcohol-free or low alcohol. And right now, they're not able to sell that. Only supermarkets can sell low alcohol and non-alcoholic wines. So I said, what are you going to do if Trump puts a 25% tariff? He goes, I might go out of business. So I says, that's great. Business is bad as it is. There's too much wine. Young people aren't drinking wine, and they're going to put a 25% tariff. I go, how are you going to survive that? How are you going to survive that? And he says, I don't know. Thank God my kids are out of college and they have jobs. And I'm gonna live from year to year with this. And I've been doing it for decades, but I don't know what the future is going to bring. So I found that very interesting. And when I went up to the tables and I questioned a few of the proprietors of these Bordeaux chateaus, I said to them, business is bad. I says, and I know that there's a lot of Bordeaux sitting in the system. There's people who are saying that there's anywhere from $6 to $8 billion in the warehouses of Bordeaux. And what are you going to do with it? You can't sit with it if it's not moving through the system. And the only way you move merchandise is you find the right price, they'll move. And the last thing they want to do in Bordeaux is lower prices. Especially the luxury companies like the First Growths and all of the wineries that are owned by banks, insurance companies, and big concerns, and billionaires too, and the regular wine grower who lives from harvest to harvest, they're going to have to move their merchandise. And the only way they're going to move their merchandise is by lowering the prices. And this importer friend of mine said, I hear rumors that there's going to be a big bust out soon, where there's going to be all of a sudden wine coming onto the market at a much lower price. And that's going to cause havoc in the market. One of my subscribers commented to me that he was in a Costco in California and he bought a bottle of 2021 Chateau Cleané Pomerol for $45. Now, Chateau Cleané from a good vintage should go for about 100, 110, 120. Cleané, it's from the 2021. It's not considered to be a great vintage, but at $45, that shows you the cracks in the market. And I would tell everyone who's interested in Bordeaux, I would be very careful buying these wines at the present prices, because there's no way they're going up, and the only thing I can see is some reduction now. Chateau Latour, all the First Growths and some of the luxury Pomerols on the right bank and some of the Saint Emilions like Cheval Blanc, they're going to hold out. They're going to hang steady because they can weather any market fluctuations. But if you're going in to buy these wines to get them at the cheapest prices and you think they're going up in value soon, they're not. They're not. The success of the 2022 futures and the 2023 futures have been lackluster, and most of them didn't move through. There's still a lot of agents and courtiers importers holding the bag on these things. Now the Bordeaux estates sold it. You know, that's what the entrepreneur is about, is they unload to all their customers, whether it's retailers, supermarkets, and they take orders and they get paid up front. While the people who buy these wines have to move them through the channels of distribution. And it's not happening. It's not happening. So get it out of your mind that these wines are going to go up in value like they used to do back in the early 2000s. There's just too much wine, and the demand has fallen and has shrunken. Now, there'll always be a fine wine market, and Bordeaux will always be in demand, but it's going to be less in demand, and the market's going to shrink. And I think the top wines will try to hold their prices because they can, and they can go through a few years of downturn without a problem, but the majority of the wine market cannot weather that storm. So understand that the market has changed radically in the last few years, and you really have to be careful where you spend your money. Now, tasting through, now I only tasted about 30 wines, and I wanted to taste at least triple that. But I didn't have the opportunity because there was just too many people. And I just couldn't maneuver, and I couldn't handle, the crowds. But the wines that I did taste, and I will go through them the next episode. The wines, there's some excellent wines, and maybe there's going to be some great wines from this, and there's a story to be told about the vintage and about how the Bordelais were able to take one of the most difficult vintages ever and produce excellent wines. But I will get into that the next episode. So hold fast on buying these wines, and I will go through the wines that I liked, and we'll just see you next time.